Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 163 of the Compassion in Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
We're back.
We are.
We are back. Yes, so the flu is no longer.
It is. It's no longer.
Yeah.
It has passed us by now.
Yes, so that's good.
Yes.
If you're listening to this on the day it comes out, it is election day.
Sure is.
So get out there and vote, vote, vote.
That's right.
Vote as many times as you can.
I hear they only let you do it once.
Here's what's coming up on today's show. In our Noteworthy segment, we're going to tell you how you can let your neighbors know that your yard is a wildlife habitat.
This is so cool. And in our main topic, we once again take a deep dive into the so scary world of vegan Reddit and ask the question, are they the asshat?
Hope you had a good World Vegan Day on November 1st.
That's right.
And it is, November is World Vegan Month.
Yeah.
So we'll be celebrating that all month long.
Sure will.
But before we get into everything that's we just talked about, what have we been up to?
Honestly, not much.
Yeah, because the illness.
Because of the illness, yes. So I was sick and then Christine was sick. And so we ended up doing nothing for Halloween. Christine was scheduled to go to Erie and hang out with the family for Halloween.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I didn't want to spread the sickness.
And I had a rehearsal on Halloween evening. And so, we just...
Yeah, not much there.
Not much going on the past couple weeks.
There's no children in our neighborhood, so there was no handing out of candy.
No.
So that was that.
Yeah.
It was the weather here was like spectacular. It was like 70 degrees.
It's been gorgeous.
So good for the kids. They didn't have to wear coats over their costume. I remember when I was a kid how I hated having to wear a coat over my costume.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, I have on our notes, sick people vegan food.
Yeah, but that's not terribly interesting.
It's not. I made a bunch of soup.
Made a bunch of soup.
Soup and toasted cheese and crackers. And
It's really not particularly interesting.
It really is.
You know, Christine's been dealing with a little stomach bug. And so with the stomach bug, we've been having some, very plain noodles.
I know.
We've been having some very plain rice.
It's very, it's crazy.
Yeah, not a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, here's a quick update. The movie Christspiracy is now available to stream, I believe, on their website. We'll put a link in the show notes, but that website is Christspiracy.com. I haven't looked to see if there's a fee for that. I have a feeling it might be like a one-time rental fee or something to stream it or download it. So that's good news. In other news, I wanted to just give you a little bit of a note about our weekly newsletter that we send out through your email. If you signed up for our newsletter, for some reason, our newsletter, I think, has been dumped into people's junk folders. So if you subscribe to our newsletter and feel like you haven't been getting it, it goes out every Tuesday morning. If you haven't been receiving our emails, check your junk folder and make sure you move them into your inbox so that you continue to get those. If you would like to sign up for our weekly newsletter, you can subscribe to that at compassionandcucumbers.com. It's right on the front page of our website. We have a recipe this week.
Yes, we do. And this was actually a recipe from about 2 weeks ago.
Well, because time.
Because time and sickness. Yes.
Yeah. So here is this week's recipe from our vegan kitchen.
This week, we're talking about Christine's kale and black bean enchiladas with cilantro cashew crema.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned a couple of episodes back that the kale and black bean enchilada was inspired by something that we got in a
Blue Apron
box.
Yep.
It was a recipe that we got in a Blue Apron box, and I've made some tweaks to it and kind of made it my own. And we have this, usually when the weather gets a little colder, it's a nice warming meal.
Oh, absolutely.
And for the first time, I made this cilantro cashew crema, which I developed this recipe, just, winged it. And it turned out really well.
So this, again, is a twofer.
It's a twofer. And I will have both of those recipes up on our Patreon for our Patreon community by the end of the week.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you can join our Patreon if you want to get all the recipes that are up there. So that brings us to our Noteworthy segment.
Thanks to our good friend, Jacqueline Capello, we found out recently that you can get a sign from the National Wildlife Federation to designate your property as a wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
This is, I think, maybe the coolest thing I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
So if you're like us, you prefer to mow infrequently, you leave your leaves, and you let certain areas of your yard get a little wild. And what this does is it provides nesting, resting, eating, food storage, and shelter areas for local wildlife. Everything from insects to small amphibians to birds to, of course, the mammals that roam through. We live directly across from a wooded area, so we will frequently see raccoons, deer, bunnies, of course, chipmunks and squirrels like crazy. Turkey.
Yeah.
Every now and again, the odd coyote.
Yeah.
So leaving our yard a bit wilder is actually a good thing for those animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can let others know that you're providing habitat for the animals with this very special sign. And so first you go to the National Wildlife Federation and you take a look at their checklist for what the requirements are for being a certified wildlife habitat. And you make sure that you are meeting the requirements. And then from there, you can go ahead and go through the process of getting certified. And then you can get this lovely sign that you can post in your yard that tells your neighbors and your visitors that your yard is a habitat for all of the lovely wild things out there.
Yeah, and we will be getting our sign. That'll be great. We already have a sign in our yard that says we leave our leaves.
Right.
Because we are surrounded by people who incessantly mow and rake and blow.
Oh my gosh. We are talking about people who seriously try to keep their yards at golf course level.
I know. It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
Yeah. It is. It's really insane. And it makes me so mad. And I'll look out there and I'll be like, the leaves aren't breaking into your house and stealing your things. They really aren't. You do not need to rid your lawn of every single fallen leaf.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But alas, this is a good way to let people know that you're not just, shirking your neighborly duties. That there are reasons why you don't mow as frequently as they do. And you don't rake everything up the way that they do.
That's right.
And so this sign will, provide a little information for them that you are trying to create a sanctuary for the wildlife in your area.
Yeah. And I have to say, when we get into July, August, the really hot months of the year, and our neighbors are mowing at least every week, and they're keeping their lawns to golf course depth, right, essentially. I actually really prefer the fact that our lawn looks green and more lush because we don't mow it as frequently. Their yards get burnt out and brown, and so I don't understand that aesthetic. Like, our yard is brown, but by golly, it's short.
Right.
I don't understand that. Just let the grass grow a little bit. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we will provide a link to the website where you can plug in all this information, see what it takes to become certified, see if maybe your yard already meets all of the criteria, and you can get yourself a wildlife habitat sign. So
yeah. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. Well, we got to get moving because it's time for our main topic.
It is.
And this week's main topic, like we said before, is vegan Reddit. Am I the asshat?
I do love these episodes.
So let's just jump into our first Redditor here and see what we got. So our first one here comes from Jupiter Boru. Am I the asshat for eating meat against my vegan dad's wishes? So I'm 15 and I live with my dad, who's 45, and his boyfriend, Mark. My mom died from cancer when I was 9. And then a year later, my dad came out as gay and started dating Mark. They've been together since, and I'm cool with it. I just want Dad to be happy. The issue is that since Dad got with Mark, he's become this hardcore vegan. Like out of nowhere. We went from eating normal food to everything being plant-based. At first, I thought it was just going to be at home, but nope. Dad decided that I'm not allowed to eat anything that's not vegan, even when I'm not at home. He says it's about ethics and not supporting animal cruelty, which I get, but I don't see why I can't make my own choices when I'm away from the house. So here's where I might have messed up. I stay with my aunt, my mom's sister, every other weekend. She's always been really chill and doesn't have all these crazy rules like Dad. A few weeks ago, I was at my aunt's place, and she asked if I wanted a burger for dinner. Dad wasn't there, so I figured, why not? I haven't had meat in forever, and I was really missing it. I ate the burger. It was amazing, honestly. I didn't think it was a big deal since I wasn't at home and Dad wasn't around. But then when Dad came to pick me up, my aunt mentioned it. She wasn't trying to cause drama. She just casually brought it up, and my dad lost it. He totally flipped out on my aunt, saying she was disrespecting him and his choices and that she shouldn't be feeding me stuff that goes against his rules. Then he turned on me, calling me ungrateful and saying I've betrayed him and everything that he's been trying to teach me. Since then, he's been giving me the silent treatment and hasn't talked to me at all. It's super awkward at home now. I feel like I was just making my own decision, especially since I wasn't even at home. But now I'm wondering if I should have respected his rules even when I'm not with him. I really don't want to hurt him, but this whole thing feels so unfair. Am I the asshat for eating meat at my aunt's place when my dad wasn't around? Should I have just stuck to his vegan rules even when I wasn't at home?
I don't think the kid's an asshat at all.
No, it doesn't seem like he was an asshat.
He's 15.
He made his own choice.
That's right. He made his own choice. And I do think it important, for a teenager or, any underage person in a home, to respect the rules of the parents, of the adults, while they are in that house.
Right.
So if, dad says we're only eating vegan at home, then I think it is up to the kid to respect that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or if he feels that he can't, then to have a conversation with dad and, come to some kind of compromise. But I don't think that this young man should be tethered to dad's rules outside of the house. For example, if he's out with friends and he's using his own money and they go out for McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, he should be able to eat what he wants. And if the aunt is not vegan, which it appears that she is not, and the boy is with her, then I don't see a problem there either. He's not a young child. He's 15. He has some free will. And so I think he was just making a decision for himself, and I don't find it disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I don't find it disrespectful. We agree he shouldn't be eating meat. That's a no-brainer. But I do feel like I understand where the dad is coming from. I think the dad is disappointed in his son, especially since the dad, it seems to be an ethical vegan.
Yes.
And probably has had conversations with his son about his reasons for being vegan, and all of the unethical things that happen to animals in the agriculture industry.
Certainly.
And I think the dad kind of overreacted based on his disappointment that his son, knowing all that information, can still consume animals.
Sure, absolutely. And I get that disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where the dad is coming from in that way, but I think you do still have to recognize that, a 15-year-old has a right to make their own choices.
Exactly.
And you might not always agree with those choices.
Yeah, especially when he's outside of the home.
That's right.
I mean, if this had happened in the home, I can understand a little bit more the dad's, silent treatment and all that.
Certainly.
Which that's not going to get him anywhere. He
No,
needs
it's
to
not.
sit down and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
If he's disappointed or feels betrayed, he needs to sit down and talk those things out with his son. Mm-hmm. And then maybe his son can say, that's great, but when I'm out of the house, Dad, I need to be able to make my own decisions.
That's right.
I'm 3 years away from being what is considered an adult at 18. And at that point, I can leave your house and I can do whatever I want. So
That's right.
when I'm out of the house, you need to let me have, like Sam said, my own free will. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, because I think, honestly, being angry and giving him the silent treatment, that's only going to push him further away from being vegan. If he's turning himself into someone who is, unreasonable and inflexible and, angry, that's not going to help the situation.
Not at all. So, yeah, we both agree there. Not an asshat.
No.
What is our next scenario?
Our next scenario asks, am I the asshat for pretending to be a vegan and sneaking meat behind my boyfriend's back?
Yes. Moving on. No.
Well, but as you always say,
let's see
let's take a look.
Let's put it to the test.
So I, a 19-year-old male, moved from Mississippi to New York for school. I met my boyfriend, Scott, also a 19-year-old male, as my roommate when I started. He was raised vegan, and he's all about animal rights and all of that. Problem was, I come from farming and hunting folk, and he didn't really like that. We got to know each other, and I liked him a lot, so I told him I'd give the vegan thing a try, and we've been dating since then. I did actually try for about 2 months, but I couldn't do it. I never felt properly full, and I was tired and fatigued all the time. I also felt kind of sick sometimes. I started secretly eating meat again, and especially when I went home, and I'd satisfy my cravings to the fullest. I went home over the weekend, and Scott decided he wanted to meet my family and come with me. Everything was fine, and everyone was on their best behavior until I got into some stupid argument with my brother, and he decided to say, at least I'm not a derogatory word for female genitalia, who can't tell his boyfriend he's not really vegan and sneaking burgers. Scott went really red and just went outside. On the ride home, he was quiet. When we got back to campus, I tried to explain. He just got mad and called me a shameless liar and that he couldn't trust me. He goes on about how I clearly don't share his values like he thought. I told him that wasn't fair, and he told me it's not fair that I was lying to him the whole time. Am I the asshat?
I would say yes. You are being an asshat by completely lying to your boyfriend about about your veganism. I mean, why not just say, look, I can't go vegan. And at that point, what's his name? Scott. Mm-hmm. And if that point Scott wants to walk away and say, well, then, I can't really have a relationship with you because it's our ethics just clash too much.
Yeah.
Then, at least Scott would have had that time to make an informed opinion about it. And you would have had the benefit of at least being honest with him.
Yeah.
And not hiding the fact that you were eating animals behind his back.
Right. And especially when you're in a partnership, you don't want to be in a place where you're lying to each other for any reason. But if we're talking about something that is so much part of the core of who Scott is, being an ethical vegan, that's really important, that everyone's on the same page. And it may be possible that Scott would say, oh, okay, I understand. We'll work on it slowly. Maybe you don't go cold tofurkey.
Right.
Maybe we do this gradually.
Yeah.
And, that kind of a thing. Maybe there was a compromise to be made somewhere.
Right.
But yeah, the out and out lying and the sneaking animal products behind your significant other's back, that's asshattery.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is, yeah.
Yeah.
And your brother also, bit of an asshat.
Yeah. Brother was definitely an asshat. So you're not alone
for calling you out like that in front of him.
Yeah. That's definitely inappropriate.
This next scenario comes from Suspicious Basil 7882. Am I the asshat for refusing to cook a vegetarian Thanksgiving dinner? We are coming up on that season, so I feel like I've slipped into the twilight zone with this whole argument. So tell me what's up, internet folks. I am a 31-year-old female, and my brother Mark, who is 35, we do not get along. When he was a teen, he saw a documentary on factory farming and decided to become a vegetarian. He got very, very annoying about it quickly, but my dad shut him down when he started to try to get the rest of us to be vegetarian with him. Then he went to college. He made a bunch of very strange friends and went militantly vegan. It's his entire personality. I stopped talking to him after he threw a fit about one of my birthday dinners being at a steakhouse and spammed my messages and social media with pictures of abused cows. My parents have been trying to repair the situation, and for a while it did seem like Mark was getting better, so I've been letting him back into contact gradually. Then he started dating Pam, who is some kind of vegan influencer. She is apparently moderately popular online, but I have no idea what exactly what she does. I don't know if Mark was trying to impress her or what, but last Thanksgiving, he insisted that Mom cook at least a vegetarian meal or they wouldn't come on ethical grounds. My mom just wanted everyone to get along on her favorite holiday, so she agreed. It was not a fun meal. This year, my parents have downsized for retirement and my mom is having health problems. I bought their house when they moved, so my mom asked me to host Thanksgiving so it would be like usual. I told everyone in the group chat so Mark and Pam could make travel arrangements, and Pam immediately started gushing about all the vegan replacement recipes she could give me to replace the traditional ones. I said to send me a main dish recipe they like, and I would give it a shot, but I'm making the traditional meal otherwise, and there should still be plenty of things they can eat. Mark and Pam have been arguing about this with me for days. Then Mark said that if I wouldn't make a meat-free meal, they wouldn't come. This upset my mom, who asked me to just make what she made last year to keep the peace. But I told her that Mark needs to get over himself, and I'm not coddling him. I'm having turkey on Thanksgiving. My dad privately agrees with me, but Mark threatened not to come, and it's upsetting my mom so much that he's worried it will impact her health. There's a not big, but also not zero chance that these might be some of the last family holidays we have with her. My mom thinks I'm putting turkey over my own family, and I'm not so sure anymore. Am I the asshat?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's her prerogative if she wants to make the traditional animal is included Thanksgiving meal, and it is their prerogative to not show up.
That's right.
If they, like she said, they feel like she's putting the turkey before her family, and she feels like they're putting their veganism before the family.
Right.
So there needs to be some sort of give and take here.
Again,
right?
Let's find a middle ground.
Yeah.
So, for example, we spend Thanksgiving with Christine's family, and in our little group of 6, we are 50-50, vegan, non-vegan. It's 3 and 3. So we're not going to demand that Christine's sister Linda not make a turkey.
Yeah. Well, I would wish that she didn't.
Well, of course.
But I'm not going. It's her house, and she can make whatever meal she wants.
That's right. But at the same time, we're going to bring like a main dish. We're going to bring a Gardein roast that we can have, and we're going to contribute to the sides. And I will say that I believe the turkey is the only thing on the table that isn't vegan.
That's correct.
All of the sides, from the stuffing to the mashed potatoes to the vegetables to the green bean casserole, is vegan. It's just that there is a turkey.
Yeah.
And so I really feel like this family should be able to come to some kind of similar compromise.
Right.
Yes, we wish there wasn't a turkey on the table.
Right. But I'm also not going to not see my family.
That's right.
Because of it.
Yes, I agree with that.
You know.
Yep. So no, I don't think this woman is being an asshat.
No, I don't either. I don't really appreciate her opinion of her brother's veganism. I don't really appreciate her attitude towards his veganism.
I agree.
But
yes.
But I wouldn't say she's a full-on asshat.
No. And again, it's her home.
Yeah.
She has the right to decide what to make for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. And if their mom is, really ill and it may be one of the last holidays they get to spend with her, they both need to put all of this stuff aside.
And put their mother.
Yeah. Put the mom first.
First, exactly. Yeah. I agree.
What is our next scenario?
Am I the asshat for not disclosing that I'm not vegan?
No.
Wait,
yes.
Have you made up your mind?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I, a 26-year-old female, have been eating mainly plant-based food since I was 14, not because of ethics or because I wanted to be vegan, but because I am lactose intolerant and hate the taste, texture, and smell of meat. I make a few exceptions. For example, when my boyfriend, who's learning to cook, makes something, I always have at least a few bites of it to show my appreciation, or some special dishes that I like. A few months ago, my coworker found my Instagram page where I post a lot of my vegan recipes, post pictures of vegan food I buy, restaurants I like, etc. She invited me to a local vegan and vegetarian Discord community where people started calling me Vegan Mama because I constantly try to give advice on how to cook certain things or adapt recipes. 12 years of cooking have shown me a lot. I never claimed to be vegan, but people assumed, and I didn't care enough to correct them since explaining it over and over gets annoying quick. I recently celebrated my birthday, and my mother made a dish I ate a lot as a child, which contains meat. It was the only thing with meat that I would eat when I was younger. I posted a big picture carousel, and one of the pictures was me absolutely devouring this specific dish. The caption was just a big text explaining how I was happy to see my family and friends and how glad I was that we can all share big meals like this. It didn't contain any recipes. One of the people from the server then sent me a private message asking for the recipe to that specific dish and saying how it looked great and they wanted to try it. I asked my mother for the recipe and typed it. I clarified that it wasn't vegan and how they could substitute certain parts to make it vegan. She left me on read, and half an hour later, I got a notification from my coworker to check Discord ASAP. The person who asked me for the recipe screenshotted my message and picture and sent those screenshots along with a big text about how I wasn't vegan and had basically betrayed them. My coworker and a lot of people thought they were lying, so I clarified that while I eat vegan 99.99% of the time, I don't self-identify as one, and make exceptions for special things like that. A lot of people understood, but others claimed I had been lying and didn't belong in the community. One of those people was my coworker. She has since started spreading the word around work. Most of our coworkers couldn't care less, but it's become annoying having to explain my situation over and over because people think she's lying. I understand that it was kind of crappy not clarifying, but I eat mostly plant-based and only talked about vegan vegetarian food in the Discord. So am I the asshat because I didn't clarify I'm not a vegan after joining a vegetarian and vegan Discord?
No. And she doesn't clarify, but it seems like she didn't make that post of the meal with meat in it on that Discord.
Right.
If she had done that, then yes, you're an asshat because that is a vegetarian Discord group. And you don't want to do that. I see people do that in vegan groups on Facebook, and it does not go over well.
Right.
So no, she's not an asshat, but she should have clarified even in the vegan Discord that she doesn't identify as a vegan and that she eats primarily plant-based, with sometimes eating animal products. She should have made that clear to that community.
That would have been the best course of action, absolutely. But I understand how she would have felt in a social media context, like she would have to explain herself all the time in that kind of way. Like the assumption was so close to the truth that she just didn't think twice about it.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. And as you said, she posted the picture of the dish that contained meat on a personal account.
Yeah, it seems like it was on her personal social media.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I actually think that the person who screenshotted the picture and then outed her to the Discord group was being a little bit of an asshat because you're creating unnecessary drama.
Yeah. I mean,
you could have just said to that person, oh, hey, wait, I didn't realize.
I thought you were vegan.
I thought you were vegan.
Yeah.
Like, can we have a chat about that?
Yeah.
That seems to be a more logical way about going. I mean, a logical way of going about things.
Yeah. Yeah. And This is the problem that you get into when you join groups like this, is that there are people out there that think that they're policing the group. There's some keyboard warriors out there that think they know.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah. They know what's right. And, and they're always right. And they want to create drama.
Right.
In those groups. So that's why I think if you're in a group like that and you're not vegan, make it blatantly clear right from the get-go. Hey, thanks for letting me join this group. I am not vegan, but I eat primarily plant-based. So I thought I would share some recipes on here.
Yeah.
That would have cleared the whole thing up.
Yeah, it really would have.
But she let it go on. They were calling her vegan mama and all this other stuff.
Right. But
at that point, she should have said, wait, I'm not vegan.
Yes, that would have been wise.
Yeah.
That would have been wise.
Yeah.
But I still don't think that she was an asshat
No.
in this situation.
No, I don't think so either. And I think the people that were creating drama over it are kind of asshats because... aren't there better things that you can do with your time than create drama over a non-vegan recipe on someone's personal social media?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are bigger problems that you could be dealing with your time. So, not the asshat. Let's see. Our next scenario here is a good one. This one comes from Throw RA78WDHSG.
There's a name.
Yeah. My 22-year-old vegan girlfriend wants me to get rid of my cat. My girlfriend is a passionate vegan and wants me to get rid of my beloved cat because cats eat meat and kill mice. First of all, let me say thank you for everyone who offered advice, because apparently this person posted about this in an earlier thread.
Okay.
There are over 7,000 comments on my original post, and I have dozens of private messages. Frankly, I am still pretty overwhelmed with the magnitude of the response. I did my best to read most of everyone's comments, but obviously I couldn't get to everything. Let's go to the original post. I can't believe I'm about to type this, but here we go. I've been dating my girlfriend for 7 months. She's amazing and we're super compatible in a lot of ways. She's an outspoken vegan and she made it clear at the start of our relationship that it was important to her that any potential had similar cruelty-free values. Me, already being a pescatarian, had little difficulty transitioning to a fully plant-based diet. My girlfriend was proud of me for going cruelty-free, and everything seemed well. We became the vegan couple on our college campus. Then there's my cat, Mittens. I've had her for 3 years, and I adore her. She's such a sweet and cuddly cat. However, my girlfriend was always a little apprehensive around her, and she blamed it on not growing up around cats. After a while, we sort of made a tacit agreement to mostly hang out at her apartment instead of mine. So Mittens never really came up again in conversation. Fast forward through all the quarantine stuff, my girlfriend and I have spent a lot of time together during this pandemic, and we started talking about taking our relationship to the next level. We began seriously looking at either buying a new apartment together or having one of us move in with the other. However, after a lot of talking and planning, my girlfriend sat me down and dropped a bombshell on me. She said that with this next phase of our relationship, she did not see a future with me unless I was willing to give away Mittens. She said that she believed owning a cat is unconscionable for vegans because they hunt mice and eat meat, and because the very act of owning a pet is a violation of vegan principles. I was stunned. I told her I was absolutely not willing to give up Mittens. She had no choice but to eat meat, so I was reducing harm as much as possible by buying reputable brands of cat food. Plenty of vegans own cats and think along those same lines. My girlfriend got mad and said, "How much flesh does your cat eat? How many animals died to make all that food? Would you be okay with that being human flesh?" I got mad and told my girlfriend that I would have really appreciated her telling me about her cat opinions before we got serious. She went on and on about cats killing animals. I ended the conversation there. I was so angry that I left my girlfriend's apartment, and I snuggled with Mittens when I got home. Although the mood soured a bit when my girlfriend sent me a link to a Reddit thread advocating for the extinction of the domestic cat. Sigh.
Okay.
I think it goes without saying that I am not going to get rid of my cat. However, it pains me to think that an otherwise wonderful relationship could be ending because of a difference in ideology. I don't even really understand where my girlfriend is coming from. Because like I said, a lot of vegans own cats. Now, granted, cat ownership can be a controversial topic in vegan circles, and I probably would not have gotten a cat if I had been vegan at the time. But I have Mittens now, and she deserves to eat. Yes, I've researched vegan cat food, but Mittens has some digestive issues, and my vet strongly cautioned against it. I've talked to some of my vegan and vegetarian friends, and they all think that my girlfriend has lost her mind. Some have suggested that it's not about Mittens, and my girlfriend just wants an excuse to end it. They probably don't understand why I haven't broken up yet, but I care about my girlfriend so much. I hate for this bizarre curveball to be the end of a beautiful thing. I want to try and work something out. Where do I even go from here? I will not compromise on Mittens, and I don't think that my girlfriend will compromise either. Wow, what do you think?
I don't think that the cat owner is being an asshat at all.
No, and he is right that companion animal ownership can be a point of contention among some vegans. Mm-hmm. But at least our opinion is these animals are already in the world.
Yes.
We didn't breed them into existence.
We did not.
As long as you're not buying your pet, you're rescuing them, then these animals need homes.
That's right.
They need homes, and cats are obligate carnivores.
That's right.
I also do not appreciate that we have to feed our cats animal products.
I don't like it either.
But they're obligate carnivores, and I want what's best for them.
That's right.
Cats are obligate carnivores, and while we don't feel good about having to give them animal products, and I know there are vegan cat foods out there.
We tried some vegan cat food for a while, and they did not take to it.
They did not like it. And like this gentleman here, Carl, our one cat, also has a very sensitive digestive system. Mm-hmm. And they're on special food.
Right.
So we're doing what's best for them.
That's right.
And while that does not always jive with our ethics, we're doing what's best for them.
That's right. And that actually does jive with our ethics.
Yeah.
It's putting the needs of these beautiful, goofy, sentient beings that we have welcomed into our home, that we have given a loving home to.
Yeah.
And making sure that their needs are met. And this is a good time maybe to remember that the definition of veganism, or at least the mission statement of veganism, if you go by the Vegan Society, is to reduce or eliminate, as far as is practicably possible, the use of animals as food, entertainment, clothing, etc.
Right.
And so, again, it's not about perfection.
No, it's not. And like I said, these animals, they exist already in the world. And shelters are full to the brim.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Yep.
These animals need homes.
That's right.
We could say, okay, we're vegan, we're not going to help these animals, but how does that align with our vegan ethics?
Right.
You know, when we see, if for instance we even saw a stray cat outside that was obviously unhomed.
Yes.
Would we just let that animal suffer because they're an obligate carnivore and we don't want to give them meat?
That's right.
No, we would take that animal in and vet them and care for them.
Well, actually, one of the things that I want to add to our yard as a habitat is a feral cat house, like an insulated little house where ferals or strays can go in and get warm if there's a storm or if it's snowing outside, you know, so they're not just exposed to the elements at all times.
Yeah. Well, we don't really have a feral community in our neighborhood anymore because we have a neighbor who actually is part of the trap, neuter, release program. Right. So if there is a loose stray, feral, whatever in this neighborhood, they're not here long.
No.
Because she traps them and they do the TNR.
Yeah. But we still have visiting cats every now and again.
They're neighborhood cats, though. They have homes. Those cats have homes.
I still want my little kitty shelter out there. So,
As a vegan, I would not allow my animal to roam free.
No,
it
definitely
is not. It's not good, not only not for cats to be out roaming free, they can get into all kinds of trouble. It's also not good for the songbird population, for the chipmunk populations, for a number of other small creatures that your cat might kill and not even eat. So cats should not be let outside. I do understand how some people have barn cats, and I guess that's okay. But, house cats should not be indoor-outdoor animals. They just shouldn't. It's not good for them. They can get into too much trouble. They can get hit by cars. They can get eaten by a coyote. They can get into fights, end up with infections, and pick up disease and ticks, and all kinds of things can happen. So leave your pets at home if you can. And I guess that's all we have to say about that.
Yeah.
So no, I don't believe that this boy is an asshat for choosing mittens over his girlfriend.
No, I mean, and for the girlfriend to send a link to an article calling for the extinction of the domestic cat population. I'm sorry, she sounds like a little bit of an asshat to me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where people who feel that way are coming from.
Sure, so do I.
But it's not logical. These animals already exist in the world.
Yes.
Is she suggesting that we euthanize all the animals in the shelters around the country? Is that what she's getting at? Because that's not vegan. Right?
Right.
Anyway, I'm on Mittens' side.
I am too. All hail Mittens.
What is our next scenario?
Next, we ask, am I the asshat for telling my vegan friend who doesn't drink I'm tired of catering to her choices? I'm a 50-year-old female. My friend Lauren, who is a 46-year-old female, is a vegan who doesn't drink. That's awesome, and I have no issue with that. The problem is that she's part of a small group of friends who don't get out very often, but when we do, it always has to be limited due to Lauren's choices. We live in an area where our food choices suck to begin with, so having to go to eat where she can be satisfied is very limiting. There really isn't much to do otherwise at night. In addition, she gets upset when any one of us eats something that has an obvious meat component to it. For example, she doesn't say anything if we get a soup with chicken or something, but if we ordered a hamburger, she would cause drama.
That doesn't make sense.
No. Then she doesn't drink, which is no big deal, but she will then send us videos on the harmful effects of alcohol if we get a drink or two with dinner.
She sounds like a real blast.
Yeah. It has gotten on my nerves, to say the least. It's been a while now, so I am done with everyone catering to her needs. I've tried inviting everyone to specific places and invite Lauren as well. She puts into a group chat, "Hey ladies, since I can't eat at X, why don't we go to Y?" Then, of course, the other ones decide we should go to Y instead. I've backed off going out because I don't want to spend money on food that sucks. Remember, it's vegan, not vegetarian, so it's very limiting.
Oh, please.
And is expensive, or have my intelligence questioned by sending crap about the effects of alcohol as if we are not beyond old enough to know about or Google it. I barely drink anyway, but I enjoy a glass or two every so often. She asked why I keep bailing, so I told her, I respect your choices, but by the very nature of them, they have limited mine. Being that I don't have the ability to go out often, nor unlimited funds, I am only going to go when I know the entire experience will be what I want. So if I'm in the mood for a steak and a vodka tonic, I want to have that in a relaxed atmosphere, and that obviously bugs you. If I'm in the mood for a salad and water, I will gladly join you, or we can just hang out at the beach when we have time during the day. She didn't like that too much. She said that isn't what friendship is about, and I should enjoy the company enough not to care. I told her that I understood, and I would gladly hang out with her when food or drink isn't in question, because it's too expensive not to enjoy it. She said that there is nothing else to do around here. Then I asked if it's just about friends, then maybe she can eat first and join us out sometimes, and other times we can go where she wants. She then told me that she's not going to sit around watching people eat meat. I said, okay, I get it, and you need to get that I'm not catering to your needs each time I'm free to hang out. I later got a text from a mutual friend that Lauren was upset, but she agreed with me because she was tired of the same crap. Of course, this friend doesn't like conflict, so just listened to Lauren. So am I the asshat for not wanting to continue to eat food I don't like or refrain from having a drink or two to keep the peace here? Or am I right in feeling like she's being selfish, expecting the rest of us to do what she's comfortable with each time?
I think both of these people are being a little bit of an asshat.
Well, actually...
And it's amazing to me that these are 50-year-old women, right?
Right.
Having these kind of sophomoric issues.
Ooh, good word, sophomoric.
Oh, thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Anytime.
Yeah. I mean, I think that maybe if all they do is go out to eat, then devise a schedule. You know, one day it's Lauren's, one day it's Sugarless Mama's. And, come to a happy medium there, right? Why so many of these why can't people come to a compromise?
Well, sure. But my problem with this, I mean, and I understand where Sugarless Mama, the non-vegan, is coming from. I really do. I don't think it's the vegan's responsibility to send her friends memes about the negative effects of alcohol because they're having a drink or two. That's going a step too far.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about, is Lauren in recovery?
Right.
Or is she just decided she doesn't like to drink because it's unhealthy?
Right.
So,
I mean, I don't drink, and it's not because it's unhealthy. It's not because I don't want other people to drink. It's not because I'm in recovery.
Yeah.
It's because I no longer enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. But that doesn't mean that other people drinking in my presence makes me uncomfortable or that I have a right to say, I don't drink, therefore you can't either.
Yeah.
And one thing about this post that does bother me.
There's a number of things.
There are a number of things in this that bug me. Yes, absolutely.
This post has issues.
That the vegan says to the non-vegan that having what you want in a relaxed atmosphere without judgment isn't what friendship is about. Yet she very clearly states that she will not be around other people eating meat.
Right.
So she wants to be in a relaxed atmosphere where she does not have to see people eating meat.
Right.
But tells her friend that if she was a friend,
she wouldn't want that. Yeah.
Exactly. That she wouldn't ask.
It's like they both want the same thing here.
Yes.
And they're both accusing the other of being unreasonable.
Yes.
For wanting that same thing.
That's right.
Yeah. So the salad and water comment was a little irksome to me.
Sure. And also, of course, the assumption that, all vegan food is kind of flavorless and more expensive.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
No, that's not fair. I don't know what the vegan restaurants are like where they're going, but it is pretty one-to-one when you go to restaurants anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's very similar.
There are some vegan restaurants where it's pricey. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, but there are also omnivorous restaurants that are very pricey.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So if price is a problem, then, choose your restaurants according to the price. If you can't seem to go to a restaurant and not have a drink, then maybe you have a problem. I mean, I understand wanting to go out and have a drink and loosening up, but if you can't have a good time because you can't have a drink,
right, that's
an issue.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and also, I mean, we just went out to dinner with my brother and Lucy the other night.
We did.
They came up to see a show at the college where I work.
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
So good.
So good.
Yeah.
And we went to a Japanese place, which we know that Lucy loves.
Right.
And so we went there, and they both had animal products. We, of course, did not.
We can't stop them.
We can't stop them.
Yeah.
It's their choice to make.
Sure.
And so it's kind of like the Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, people can make their own choices.
That's right.
I mean, you can tell them your reasons for why you make the choices you make.
Yes.
And they can either agree with you and, do the same thing.
Right.
Or they can say, good for you, that's not for me.
Yes.
And you just have to, you have to let that be because people have free will.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And so honestly, I feel as though if this was a deep friendship and one that was important to both people, that they would find compromise. That
Absolutely.
maybe one time they go to the steakhouse and the vegan
Why does
ordered.
it have to be a steakhouse? I mean, come on.
Well, come on. I'm just using it as an example.
I mean, she used that as an example too.
Yes, but maybe that's what's available in their area.
Maybe.
So I'm just
maybe.
saying, so maybe they go to the omnivore restaurant, one time when they go out, and then the next time they go to the vegan restaurant, and they keep alternating.
Yeah, that's what I said. Make a schedule.
Yeah, so that they're each giving a little bit. They each get a little bit of what they want.
Yeah.
And they're both giving the other a little bit of what they want.
And spending time with your friends should be just like at the Thanksgiving dinner. That should be your main reason for being there.
That's right.
To spend time with people you care about.
Yes.
It is interesting, though, that there is a little bit of that cognitive dissonance with people who drink towards people who don't drink. It's the same thing, like non-vegans and vegans, that if you're like somewhere where like the majority of people are drinking and you're not drinking, people will be like, why aren't you drinking? It's like, what's the difference? I have a beverage. It just doesn't have harmful alcohol in it.
Right, exactly.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
But it is true that people who don't drink sometimes get that same cognitive dissonance shot towards them by people who are drinking.
Yeah, that doesn't bug me.
No, I mean, it doesn't happen with nobody we know.
No, not really.
Is like that. But I've seen other people who don't drink be in situations where everybody's drinking and people give them a hard time for not drinking.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I like a Jameson just as much as the next Irish person.
And you go right ahead.
And, but I would never disrespect someone for not drinking or, wanting to go someplace where there isn't alcohol. I don't really, going to a restaurant that doesn't have alcohol isn't really a problem for me, as long as the food's good.
That's right.
And so make a compromise there, sugarless mama.
Yeah, so I think about a half a cheek on both sides of this one.
Yeah, and these women are old enough to know better.
I agree.
Let's just do one more because we are like 58 minutes in already, and we still have other things to get to. We'll save some of these other ones for a future show. Okay, this next scenario comes to us from Ginger Fairy 16.
Nice name. I like that.
Yes. Hi, all. I am 16 and my sister is 17. 3 weeks ago, she met, supposedly fell in love with, and started dating a vegan guy she met at school. At first, it was just her that changed. She went from essentially just tolerating our dog and turtle to all about them, according to her Insta. Her room went from chic fashion to save the animal posters. Then my dad wanted to meet him. Biggest mistake ever. She demanded that we all go vegan. My parents went along with it, and I did so grudgingly because, hey, it's food. I also had this stupid notion that it would only be while he was over. It wasn't. She threw a temper tantrum the next morning, finding out that I had a bowl of cereal with real milk. And I'm talking temper tantrum, saying how we never support her and how she's going to be alone forever. I told her to grow the F up. Mom, to appease her, went through the entire kitchen and got rid of anything that wasn't vegan. Mom and I got into it, and she told me that since she buys the food, she decides what's in the house. I work part-time, and I got paid today. I actually made a meal plan and a budget, and I went and bought food for just me. Not much, but enough so dinners won't completely suck. Sis gets home from practice and loses it because I'm making a grilled cheese and bacon sandwich, saying that I don't love her or support her. I told her that just because she's changing her life for a guy doesn't mean that I have to, and if it means I don't support her, then so be it. I don't want to be supportive of a dumb person who decides to change her whole identity because of a guy. This is so 16-year-old.
Yes, it is.
I am grounded, and Mom decided... That's funny. I am grounded, and Mom decided to throw away the food I'd purchased, though she did reimburse me. I told my friend about it, and she said it was a bit harsh because we both know my sister is a major drama queen. So, Reddit, am I the asshat here? Oh, here's an update. So let's just say it hit the fan tonight. Using a suggestion, I composed a list, not complete and just a little off of memory, but a good start, of all the non-vegan objects around the house. The prices of them, the price of suitable replacements. I think I made it through toiletries, and then I did a quick search on nutritional needs. My job is babysitting, which I love. Along with this, my mom apparently went over the food budget and her fun do whatever she wants with money, and Dad just found out. I also think he was getting upset before this, but he keeps it to himself. I got home while they were arguing. Once Dad saw the research I had done, he laid down the law. Essentially, if Sis and Mom want to be vegan, Sis has to do research herself and learn how to cook. He then said the words I honestly never thought I'd hear. He was proud of me for the research that I had done and that it seemed to be thorough. He's never told me he's proud of me before. Sis hasn't been told about this yet, and she's still out on a date, refusing to answer the phone, and it's almost curfew. I'd stayed awake to see the show, but I'm actually going to be helping the family I babysit tomorrow. This is so 16.
It's so 16. It's so very
it is
16.
So, okay, with the update, clarify something for me. What is this research she was doing? Was she trying to say that it's going to be much more expensive?
No. I think that she was just kind of responding to her mother and her sister's quest to eliminate all non-vegan things from the kitchen.
Oh, so she was saying...
And so she was saying, well, here are all of the other non-vegan things in the house, and here's what they cost, and here's what it would cost to replace them.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what she's doing here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just...
I mean, she's grounded, so she's got a lot of time.
Exactly. So, no, I don't think... Again, you're 16. You have free will. For you to use money that you have earned to buy food that you want to eat and to prepare it for yourself, not asking either your mother or your sister to have anything to do with it, I think that's perfectly fine. I do think that the 17-year-old sister, the older sister, is being a bit of a drama queen.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the mother's response to throw out the food that the younger daughter had purchased with her own money.
No, she gave her the money for it, though.
Right. I get that. But still, I don't believe in wasting food like that.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
Whether or not you're going to eat it and you can replace it, there are plenty of people who would be grateful to have it. And
sure.
So, and also, if you're throwing out animal products, the animals are dead already.
Yeah.
You're not saving anyone.
Yeah,
by throwing out the products. That makes a life lost in even more vain.
Yeah, I think there might be something here, though, that we're not hearing. If Ginger Fairy got grounded for making a grilled cheese sandwich... So,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
I have a feeling that the making of the grilled cheese and bacon sandwich was done in a way that was purposeful. You know, she was purposefully trying to get under her sister's skin.
We don't know that.
Why else would she be grounded?
I don't know. We have no idea of the circumstances.
Yeah, Mom is not going to ground her for making a sandwich.
Well, why did Mom immediately favor one daughter over the other and decide that because her 17-year-old is dating a guy who's vegan and suddenly says, we have to make everything vegan, and Mom throws all the non-vegan food out? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're missing
that
something
doesn't
here.
seem right either.
Yeah, we're missing something
in
this scenario.
I think you're right that there's a piece of the puzzle missing, and that being grounded for making a sandwich definitely seems extreme.
Yeah.
But I still don't think that the 16-year-old is actually being an asshat.
No, she's being a 16-year-old.
She's being a 16-year-old, and there is a difference.
She's being a 16-year-old with a sister who is 1 year older than her. And I know how my sister and I fought when we were teenagers. And, you know, that's a lot for a mom to deal with.
Sure.
So, I can understand the grounding.
Yeah, it just seems like everything is incredibly reactionary.
Yeah.
You know, 17-year-old comes home with a vegan boyfriend. Mom says, ooh, okay, we all have to be vegan now.
We're all vegan now.
And then, you know, younger sister says, well, okay, but I have my own money. I'm going to buy some of my own food.
Right. because I don't want to go vegan.
Isn't problematic.
Right.
I think that's fine. And then she's grounded for it. Like
there's some stuff missing.
Yeah. It's just a strange situation.
There is definitely stuff missing out of that scenario. But anyway, no, you're not. Based on what the information we have, our opinion is you are not an asshat. But, you know, you're a 16-year-old and, you know, let other people make their own choices and don't make toasted cheese sandwiches in a vindictive way.
Well, I'm still not convinced that she did. You're
not.
making that assumption because you're a younger sister.
Well, I'm making
that you would have made the grilled cheese sandwich in a vindictive way under the circumstances.
I'm making that assumption because she became grounded shortly after making the sandwich.
I can't make that assumption because, again, I think the mom went too far when the daughter comes home and says, I've got a boyfriend, he's vegan, so we all have to be vegan.
Yeah. Who knows?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Yeah. Who knows, Andy? I don't know. So that's it. We're going to save the rest of those for a future episode.
Sounds good.
Because we're already an hour in. We got other things to talk about.
Okay, then.
Mainly, this week's assignment restaurant, SOS. This week's restaurant is New Vegan.
Debbie Berlin nominated New Vegan, which is located at 8150 Baltimore Avenue, College Park, Maryland. Their mission is to become the motivating force that sparks a movement towards global awareness by redefining the perception of vegan cuisine.
That is a mission.
It is. I like it.
Now let's look. And I know that this restaurant has a couple of different locations. I think they have 3 different locations in Maryland. I believe it's the Baltimore area. Mm-hmm. But let's take a look at this particular location.
Okay, this is vegan comfort food all over the place.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. What do we got? Oh, yeah, we got vegan chicken drumsticks. We've got vegan crab cakes, vegan lasagna.
Barbecue tofu, ginger spiced tofu.
Oh, they do a vegan fried fish.
Which I've never tried. I think I would actually like to try something like that sometime.
Yeah, I wish it gave a little more information. Like, what is it made out of or whatnot.
Right. But then there's a crab cake sandwich, a vegan steak and cheese, a vegan fish sandwich, a vegan cheeseburger, mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, fries, collard greens. So yeah, we're really looking at some nice vegan comfort food here.
Yeah, there's some good looking vegan food here, and it is all pretty reasonably priced too.
Very reasonably priced actually.
Which is good to see. Vegan fish sandwich, of course, French fries. Oh, they have a side of collard greens. Mm-hmm. Sweet potatoes. Did you already talk about that?
I did.
I wasn't listening.
I know.
I was looking at food.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, look at this. A side of Caribbean chickpeas. Ooh,
that does look nice.
Yeah. Sauteed cabbage. They have some really cool sides.
Yep, they do.
So it's not all just junk food. Ginger collards. Mushroom why can't I say that? A mushroom medley. It's a medley of mushrooms.
Indeed it is.
They have an okra and tomato side.
Yeah, it all looks like good stuff.
Yeah.
So if you are in the College Park, Maryland area, we strongly recommend that you hit up New Vegan. Get out there and give them some support.
Absolutely. Support your local vegan businesses as much as you can. And it's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout-out time.
It's listener shout-out.
Just want to give a shout-out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout-out goes to Maggie McBurney. We met Maggie in Syracuse a couple weeks ago, and she told us that a friend recommended the show to her and that she's been listening ever since. Thank you for listening, Maggie. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Maggie. And we love it when people do that. When people,
get the word out.
Yeah, word of mouth is great. Send us your t-shirt size and your address so that we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag. You can either use our text link in the top of our show notes. Be sure to include your name. You can email us that information at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. You can private message us on either one of those.
And if any of you out there want a listener shout out, please text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also nominate someone else for a shout out. And you really don't want to forget that a shout out enters you into our Mise and Chef Knife giveaway, which is going to be happening just 4 short weeks from now.
Yeah. First week of December, I think we're going to do that.
Yep.
And now it's time for our Vegan Org of the Week. This week's Vegan Org of the Week is Beagle Freedom Project.
The Beagle Freedom Project's mission is educate, legislate, liberate. Beagle Freedom Project is the world's leading organization for rescuing and rehoming animals used in experimental research. Since 2010, we have liberated thousands of animals while working to end their abuse through education, advocacy, and legislation. Together, we are moving closer to a world without animal testing.
That's a wonderful organization. And if you're not familiar with the fact that beagles are used for a ton of terrible animal testing, it is because beagles are, they're the sweetest.
They're naturally docile, they're naturally friendly, they're naturally trusting. Those are some of the major reasons that beagles are frequently used in animal testing.
Yeah, and we did do a past episode on some beagle testing facility information, and it's terrible.
It's horrific.
Yeah, so Beagle Freedom Project is a wonderful organization. If you're looking for an organization to follow, to support, to donate to, check out their work.
To learn more about their work, you can go to bfp.org.
It's time to wrap this baby up. But before we go, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app and subscribe to our YouTube. If you want, you can leave us a review and a rating so that we can reach more great people just like you.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 163 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion. On the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We really do. Bye-bye.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.